Hello everybody and welcome to Vinyl Treasures. I'm your host Johnny G, John Galindo, coming to you live each and every Monday only here on YouTube. Want to welcome you to the lost my place. Want to welcome you to the August 21st, 2023 Vinyl Treasure Show. It's our special show on Monday from 1 to 3:30 where I spin original vinyl 45s. We are counting down the Relic record survey. We're going to finish the survey today. Don't know what I'm going to be doing next week, so I'm going to decide real quick because I don't have much time to find the 45s. But we're going to go through the top 20 of the survey. But I got a few extras a little bit before we get to the top 20. I posted all the, I think the top 16 45s on YouTube, not YouTube, on Facebook. You can check them out as I count down. You'll see them there, the original labels. But we opened up with a 1958 instrumental. This opened up with, from August 58, the group from Tyler, Texas. They were known as the Cyclones, and the song called Bullwhip Rock, a tune written by the piano player of the group that you heard on there. His name is Wayne Brooks Jr. This charted number 83 on Billboard, number 22 on WCOP. If you were listening in Boston, Massachusetts, from August 58, the Cyclones on the Trophy label. It's called Bullwhip Rock. Well, what I did is for the extras that I was decided to play, it was I started with any record that had 4 mentions on the ballots that came in on the ballots. So that looked like, you know, it was going to work out okay. And then what did I say? 4 mentions or more, and scored at least 24, or scored 24 points. So that's how I went to it, to pull out these like 10 or 12 records to play. So why don't we start it off here? I will start it off with number 363. That was the first one to receive 4 mentions and 18 points. The group is out of Harlem, New York. This is on the KO record label, K-A-Y-O. It features Ernesto Di Cotu on lead, or Coteo, I guess. T-E-U is the last 3 letters. It's from August of 58. So at number 363, these are the Orientals. These are extras. 363, the Orientals on KO. The song is called Please Come Back Home.
I go around all over town, asking, begging, pleading, where can you be found? Please come back home. Have served in every place, hoping, wishing, looking for the sight of your face. Please come back home. People are talking all over town, asking me, darling, where can you be found in town? And I'll say, guess I should forget you. Still I'm begging, pleading, 'cause I know my love is true. please come back. I'm sorry, darling. I've done you wrong.
August 1958 release coming in at number 363 on the survey with 4 mentions and was that 18 points. The Orientals, voted by 4 collectors, probably own that 45. That's on the KO record label. Please Come Home is the name of that tune. Let's jump. No, actually, we're going to go up 1 to number 362. This one also received 14 mentions and 18 points. Now, this group they hail from Queens, New York, and we heard from them earlier in the countdown. Number of songs we played by this group: number 263 with 5 Little Kisses, 157 with their debut single called My Darling, number 101 with a song called No No No, and the flip side of that record comes in at number 362. They recorded for Sid Nathan's Deluxe Records out of Cincinnati, Ohio. This was their second release, or we should say their second release and follow-up to My Darling. No, actually their 4th release, I should say. No, their second release, I'm sorry. Getting confused with another record coming up by them. Their second release, it's their follow-up to My Darling, a tune written by the lead singer. His name is Larry Pendergrass. This one from June 58, coming in at number 362. These are the Chanters on Deluxe with Row Your Boat.
Row, yeah, 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 row, yeah, 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 row your boat gently down the stream. Won't you come on with me, baby? And life could be a dream.
Row your boat gently down the stream. Oh, come on with me, baby, and life could be a dream. I love you, oh, I really do. I really love you, really true. Row your boat gently down the stream. Oh, can't you see my baby? How sweet it would be to have you, my darling, just you and me, you and me. As we go rowing by the castles that tower in the sky, I will look into your eyes and tell you that you were meant to be my bride. Row your boat gently down the stream. Oh, can't you see my baby? How sweet it would be to have you, my darling, just you and me, you and me. As we go rowing by the castles that tower in the sky, I will look into your eyes and tell you that you were meant to be my bride. Row your boat gently down the stream. Oh, come on with me, baby, and life could be a dream. I love you, oh, I really do. I really love you, really true.
Kitty leads here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. Those are the Chanters, Larry Pendergrass. No relation to Teddy Pendergrass, Darren. That's Larry Pendergrass from Queens, New York. That's June 58. coming in at number 362, on 4 ballots, 18 points. That's their second release on the deluxe label. Row Your Boat is the name of the tune. Let's jump to entry 345 now. 345 with 4 mentions and 20 points on this one. This is on George Goldner's End record label, and it's the flip side, or I should say, though, now the flip side of this N45 is called Sending You This Letter. Now, Goldner issued this on his Mark label in August of 57 as by the Tune Masters, but he re-released it on his End label in January 58 and replaced the flip side with a duet. He figured that if he'd put these two singers together, maybe they would have a hit, possibly. Willie Wilson is the lead singer of the Tune Masters, and of course, the gal on this, her name is Arlene Smith, of course, lead of the Chantels. They were doing really well in 1958 with a number of their releases that have also made the survey here, the Relic survey, and they both wrote this tune that comes in at number 345 from January 58. It's on the first presses of this, it says Willie Wilson and the Tune Masters. It would later come out as Willie and Arlene and the Tune Masters. I'm featuring the first press on End as Willie Wilson and the Tune Masters. The song is called I've Lied at number 345.
I've lied to
Oh yeah, and I hope that you will forgive me. Oh yeah,
all the things that I did to you. I broke your heart, and now you're blue. But I'll make it all up to you if it takes the rest of my life. I've lied to you.
I've lied to you, my dear. Forgive me.
And I take your hand, then maybe you'll understand that we were made to forgive, you see. Please forgive me. I've lied to you.
I've lied to you, my dear. I'm sorry.
Oh
yeah, and I hope that you will forgive me. Oh yeah.
Please, please forgive.
There you go, coming in at 345 on the survey. That is Willie Wilson and Arlene Smith in a duet there with the Tune Masters, January 58. It's on George Goldner's End record label. I've Lied is the name of the tune. Let's move to entry number 344. It's a rare 45. It shows you how the collectors were voting on this survey, because this is a very rare record with 4 mentions and 20 points. It's on Mabel Weather's Impala label, as she managed a group called the Echoes. They previously had releases on the Combo label and also the Specialty label. I think at one time Darlene Love was a member of the Echoes on the Combo label, and here they are backing up this singer by the name of Sonny Roberts. And I remember buying this. Does anybody know someone by the name of Les Docks? He used to put out a book with pictures of 78s. They weren't in color, they were in black and white, but I remember I used to go to Master's department store and look at the books, and I would I eventually did buy it. It's somewhere here in the No Humidity basement, but I bought this record from him and others too. He was selling 45s, not his 78s at the time, and I don't know what happened to him. It was on eBay, but I bought this from him, lucky to get it, and This is from March of 58, coming in at number 344, Sonny Roberts and the Echoes on the Impala label. The song is called I'll Never Let You Go, number 344. That's a great record there, coming in at number 344 on the survey from March 1958. It's on the Impala record label. That's Sonny Roberts and the Echoes, I'll Never Let You Go. That 4 people picked that, as put that on their ballots. And the Poets do a nice version of this on the Shade label back in 1960. Johnny G here on a Monday afternoon. If you're new to the program, just hopping on in, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Click the bell to get notifications when Johnny G goes live as we're doing the countdown. We're going to finish up on the Relic shop countdown here. The top 20 coming up soon. Put in some extras. And let's go to number 343. Was surprised that this got 6 mentions and 20 points. And this group called the Valiants, they had their biggest hit in late 1957 on Bob Keene's, I don't think he owned it at the time, but it was Keene Records. This Is the Night. I'm sure many of you know that tune, but this one's on John and Alex Samaya's Ensign record label, which is out of Los Angeles, California. The tune written by the lead singer. His name is Billy Jones, but you know him as Billy Storm. This tune recorded February 4th of 1958, but the master was sold to Ensign Records, and they released it in May of 59. So this should have been on the 1959 survey, not the 58, but we'll give it a spin here. It received 6 mentions, May 59. Billy Storm and the Valiants on the Ensign record label. The song is called We Knew.
When our eyes first met, our hearts stepped in, and we knew. Friends said a week or 2 they'll be through, but we knew, and mother and the father, for they knew. I'm sure they both knew. When our eyes first met, our hearts stepped in, and we knew. Yes, we knew, and why you ever took the bother to have me meet your mother and father, for they knew we were in love, and they knew. So we'll tell all our friends who are blind to what love is. It only goes to show that it takes two in love to know. Two in love to know. And we
Wow, that's amazing. That record coming in at number 343 on the survey. That's the Billy Storm and the Valiants May 1959 release, although recorded in 1958, February of 58. We Knew is the name of that one on the Ensign record label. That's 6 mentions on that song. A very nice tune. Not often played enough. Let's continue here on the countdown. We move to number 324 on the survey. From this point on, the numbers will run consecutively, because I think from starting with this record that received this group from the Bronx, it received, what is it? What do I have here? I think it was. It doesn't say. I thought I wrote this down. I think it was 23 points. I think for this one, and this was 23 points, if I'm not mistaken. Now, we heard from this group from the Bronx earlier on the survey at number 21 with their first release on the Laurie label called I Wonder Why, but this is the A-side of their third release on Laurie, tune written by Lou Stallman and Sid Jackson. Now, this charted number 40 on the Billboard chart, number 37 on Cashbox, was a big number 10 record on WIBX in Utica, New York, if you were tuned in, and it features Dion DiMucci on lead. Now, you know I hate styrene. I have mint copies of this in my D boxes, but it was too late last night. I wasn't going to thumb through 7 boxes with 200 records in them of unfiled D records. So I said, well, I had the EP filed. I think it was Darren, you noticed the EP. So I'm playing it off the Laurie EP, but unfortunately I'll have to play the 4. Well, we'll talk about that later. This is from November 58, Dion and the Belmonts on the Laurie label, coming in at number 324 with their tune called Don't Pity Me.
pity my arms for losing you. Pity my dreams that won't come true. But don't pity me. Pity my heart that's gonna break. Pity my kiss that you won't won't take, but don't pity me. Pity from others I have plenty of, but darling, from you I want love. Pity the love I'll throw away till you return to me someday. But don't pity me. Pity from others I have plenty of, but darling, from you I want love. Pity the love I'll throw away till you return to me someday. But don't pity me. Don't pity me. Don't pity me.
That's Dion and the Belmonts coming in at number 324 on the survey. I didn't want to play that worn-out Lori Styrene 45 on Lori. I hate Styrene records. I do. Although I got some nice vinyls. I even have some stereo singles on by Dion and the Belmonts, or by Dion. I have to check. So remember, Spence sold me, I think, 6 of them, and they have the small center hole. I'll have to pull those out. That's Dion and the Belmonts coming in at number 324 from November 58 on the Lori label. Don't Pity Me is the name of that one. Let's stay in the Bronx, New York, with this girl group at number 323 with 2 mentions. I might have voted for this one. I might have been one of the 2 that voted for this. This had 24 points. This group backed up Vince Castro on Bong Bong, that was first issued on the Doe label and then picked up by Apt Records. But these gals also had releases on Doe that would get picked up by ABC Paramount Records. Now, this is their first of 2. And I mentioned ABC Paramount would pick it up for national distribution, but I'm playing the Doe release, co-written by the lead singer. Her name is Josie Allen. This is from January 58. Let's give a listen to the Tonettes. The Tonettes on the Doe label at number 323. It's called Oh, What a Baby.
Baby,
coming in at number 323 on the survey. The Tonettes, Josie Allen on lead. That's their first of two on the Doe record label. Oh, What a Baby is the name of the tune. 2 mentions, 24 points from January 58. Now, on the ABC Paramount release, you collectors out there, check your copy. There are two versions. This version on Doe and an alternate release. It's easy to tell. I forget what the Dead Wax matrix numbers are, but it's easy to tell by looking at the Dead Wax, but it's different well, I wouldn't say significantly, but definitely on the sax break, and I think on the ending and other parts too, but you'll hear it. Anyway, we'll do that another time here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. Let's continue here. Coming in at number 322 is my favorite song by this group from Brooklyn, New York. They were managed by Danny Webb, who wrote a lot of their tunes. They were 2 mentions on this, and it scored 24 points. This is their second of 4 on the Mercury record label. It features Jimmy Weston on lead. Coming in at number 322, the Dan Lears. The Dan Lears from August 58. On the Mercury label, this comes on the Blue Mercury and also the Black label Mercury. Their tune is called I Really Love You, the Dan Lears.
I really love you. I really love you. Honest, I do. I really want you. No one but you. I really need you. Honest, I do. Honest, I do. I need your kisses both night and day. Please say you'll take me in your own little way. I really love you. Honest, I do. Both night and day. Oh, how I pray you'd come to me and you would say, I love you, darling, with all my heart, and I hope that we will never part. Oh, I really love you. Honest, I do. I really want you. No one but you. I really need you. Honest, I do.
That's the great sound of Jimmy Weston and the Dan Lears coming in at number 322. Their second of 4 on the Mercury label, I Really Love You. That's from August 58. That was a 45 that my aunt had in her collection. That's how I knew about that record, and my favorite tune by the Dan Lears. Let's continue here with number 321. We heard the A side of this by Dion and the Belmonts, Don't Pity Me, at number 324, and the flip comes in at number 321 with 2 mentions and 24 points. A tune written by Todd J. Wienbrenner, and Dion DiMucci returns as the lead singer of Dion and the Belmonts. I have to play this off of the Styrene press, unfortunately, so I think it's okay, but you know, Styrene just doesn't cut it with Johnny G, but let's give it a whirl here. November 58, Dion and the Belmonts at number 321. This is the B-side to Don't Pity Me. So whoever voted for this one, they flipped over their 45s. It's on Laurie Records. The song is called Just You.
would swim the deepest sea. I would climb the highest mountain so that I could always be with you, just you. I would hold you in my arms, dear, kiss you every day. I would hold you in my arms, dear, in a very tender way. Just you, just you, just you. I would say to you, my darling, I need you more and more. I would say to you, my darling, it's you I'm waiting for. Just you, no one but you. I would love you so sincerely. I would love you, only you. I would love you oh so dearly if you only would be true to me. Just you, just you. I would say to you, my darling, I need you more and more. I would say to you, my darling, it's you I'm waiting for. Just you, no one but you. I would hold you in my arms, dear, kiss you every day. I would hold you in my arms, dear, in a very tender way. Just you, just you, just you.
B-sides here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. That's Dion and the Belmonts coming in at number 321. That's the flip side of Don't Pity Me. Song entitled Just You on the Lori label from November 58. Let's move to entry number 320 with 3 mentions and 24 points. This group from Harlem, New York, they signed with OK Records back in 1956, and best known for their debut single was called Please Say You Want Me. But this is their very last release. It came out on George Gollner's Juanita label. And it comes in at number 320 on the survey. It features Leslie Martin on lead. This is from November 1958. These are the Schoolboys. The Schoolboys on Juanita Records. It's called Angel of Love at number 320.
There's a girl who crowds my dreams. She is the only girl I love.
Those are the Schoolboys there, coming in at number 320. Leslie Martin on lead. A nice tune there. On George Goldner's Juanita Records, that coming in 3 mentions and 24 points, November 58, The Schoolboys. As we continue here, a few more to go before we begin the countdown here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. As surprised that this next song made it at number 319 with 3 mentions and 24 points. It's a girl group out of New Haven, Connecticut. The members were Tootsie Cannon, Maxine McNeil, Esther Peebles, Josephine Ross, Ella Smith, and Joan Smith. Collectively, they were known as the Desires, and this was their only release. It came out on Al Silver's Herald label from October 1958 at number 319. The Desires on the Multicolor Herald label. It's called Bobby You.
Bobby, you tell me so. More than you ever know. Words of love can't describe the way I feel deep inside. Oh no.
That's a nice girl group sound coming in at number 319 on the survey. 3 mentions on that with 24 points from October 58 on the Herald label. Bobby You is the name of the tune. Hope you're digging on the countdown here. If you do like what Johnny G is doing, please give me a thumbs up. I much appreciate it. And also subscribe to the program. Tell your friends about it. Nobody does what I do as we continue here. And we go back out to California for entry number 38 with 3 mentions and 24 points. Now, Dootsie Williams wanting to capitalize on a hit by the Casuals. You might know the song. They did the original version of So Tough, came out on the Backbeat record label in November 57. And John Jennings and the Cufflinks would put it out, their version, at the same time on Gene Autry's Challenge label. So Dootsie Williams decided to get into the act, releasing his version in January of 58 by this reformed Cufflinks group with an X. Now, the Cufflinks recorded for Dutone earlier a different group. They did the tune called Guided Missiles, but he put together a new group that he picked Henry Houston to be the lead singer, and this was the result. Now, this is the B-side of this 45, came out at number 310, a tune that I really like called My Love Is With You. But this is the intended A-side coming in at number 319 from January 58. The Cufflinks, Henry Houston on lead. This is on Duto Records, their rendition of the tune So Tough.
Well, she's so tough. That's why I love her. I met a pretty girl, she's walking down the street. The kind of girl that I'd like to meet. She had soft hair and she's long and fine. Tell me, darling, will you be mine? I know I love you, darling. I'll never let you go. I really love you, darling. So baby, let me hug you. I really love you, darling, and I'll never, never, never let you go. That's why I love her. My girl and I are happy, we are happy as can be. I love her and she likes me. We're gonna stay together, just wait and see. Call it love, baby. Yes, sirree. I know I love you, darling. I really love you too. I really love you, baby. So baby, let me hug you. I really love you, darling, and I'll never let you go. 'Cause she's so tough. That's why I love her. So tough. Man, she's tough. Man, look at that girl.
Coming in at number 318 on the survey, the Cufflinks there with their version of So Tough. That features Henry Houston on lead, January 58. Dootsy Williams' Duto record label, a song I first heard on the Gus Gossard show. I remember him playing that. I got my cassette a tape recorder out, you know, those little cassette tape recorders that you have to hold down, record and play, and then hold the microphone to the transistor radio. That's how I taped it. But anyway, let's continue with number 317 as the Chanters return. This with 3 mentions and 24 points. Now, this is the B-side to their 4th release on Deluxe. The A-side was called No, 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 that we heard at number 101 on the survey. Well, this is their 5th song to make it, at least records that I've played here on the Vinyl Treasure Show on this countdown. Now, this song first recorded back in 1939 by Judy Garland for the movie The Wizard of Oz, which is a pretty cool movie, I have to say. But so many groups recorded this song, as did the Chanters. It features Larry Pendergrass on lead. From October 1958, they gave credit to the band leader on this, Bud Johnson, and the Chanters on Deluxe with Over the Rainbow.
Somewhere over the rainbow, way up high, there's a land that I heard of.
Those are the Chanters, Larry Pendergrass and the Chanters. Boy, they made a big impact on this survey from 1958. October 58 released their rendition of the tune Over the Rainbow on Deluxe Records, coming in at number 317. One more extra that I'm featuring here before we count down the top 20 here, coming in at number 316 with 4 mentions and 24 points. This group out of Washington, D.C., and we heard their second release that came in at number 257, called If I Could Forget. But this is their first release and much harder of the two to find on the Mellow label. And this label located out of 1674 Broadway in New York City. This one released in 1957, but it made it on the 1958 survey, and it shows the collectors that voted for this record. They're called the Gales. The Gales on Mellow Records at number 316. I'm sorry, 316. It's called Guiding Angel.
My guiding angel, please come back to me. I need you, angel, by my side. Oh darling, oh darling, do you recall the wonderful time we had last fall? For I remember the things we did, and then my guiding angel, please come back to me. I need you, angel, by my side. Oh darling, oh darling, do you recall the wonderful times we had last fall? For I remember the things we did, and then oh darling, I need you so. Come and forgive me and let me weep no more. I give you this love, that's all I have. Come to me, darling, I need you so.
Yeah, that's a collector's item there from actually released in December 57 and made the 1958 survey. Those are the Gales on the Mellow label with their tune called Guiding Angel. Now let's begin the countdown. The top 20 as voted by collectors, compiled by the Relic Record Shop back in 1998. Now, this song scored 531 points on 50 mentions and 21% of the ballots cast. And the song first recorded by the Slades on the Domino record label, but the cover was the bigger hit. Originally released on the Tender label, would then be picked up for national distribution by Randy Wood's Dot label. It features Frankie Irvin on lead, along with Jesse Belvin providing the floating tenor in the background. This charted number 12 on the Billboard chart, number 11 on Cashbox. It received one number 1 vote by Mark Ransom of West Hartford, Connecticut. Let's go to August 1958. Coming in at number 20, The Shields on Tender with their tune called, or their rendition of the tune, You Cheated.
You cheated, you lied, you said that you loved me. You cheated, you lied, you said that you want me. Oh, what can I do but just keep on loving you? Love is something you know nothing about. Love is something you can't know about. So please try to love me. Love me like I love you. Oh, please try to love me. Love me like I love you. You cheated, you lied, you said that you want me. You cheated, you lied, you said that you love me. Oh, what can I do? Oh, what can I do? Oh, what can I do?
That's number 20 on the survey. That's Frankie Irvin on lead there with the Shields, August 1958. That's Jesse Belvin in the background. Featured it on the Tender label. You may own this 45 on dot. I know my aunt bought it when it came out in the summer of 58. The Shields there with You Cheated. That was a number one vote by Mark Ransom of West Hartford, Connecticut. We hear from this group from Newark, New Jersey at number 19. The flip side of this 45 came in at number 80 on the survey. Their rendition of the tune So Fine, which was their debut single, but this is the intended A-side of the 45, coming in at number 19 with 536 points and 38 mentions. And this was voted number one on 5 ballots. I have to get to my cheat sheet here. This was on 5 ballots. Number on this side. Here we go. The people that voted this one number one were Bob LaPierre of Highland Park, New Jersey, Rich Miller of Rutherford, New Jersey, Frank Rossi of North Situate, Rhode Island, Billy Ryan of Middletown, New Jersey, and Jim Talent of Arnold, Maryland made this their number one selection. It features Tommy Bullock on lead. We go to November of 1958, the flip side of So Fine by the Fiestas on Old Town Records. It's called Last Night I Dreamed, number 19.
Last night I dreamed of holding you tight. It was a lovely time.
down the aisle. I dream, oh, yes I dream that we were wearing a smile. I know our love will always be, will be as
There you go. Those are the Fiestas. We have to say that's their best record. I have to say that is really the A side of their debut single. The Fiestas there coming in at number 19 on the survey, November 1958. On High Weiss's Old Town record label, Last Night I Dreamed. Let's continue here, and we go to Harlem, New York for number 18 on the survey with 540 points and 21 mentions. Now, the A side of this 45 came in at number 65 on the survey. It was called Now That You're Gone. It's on Paul Winley's Cyclone record label. It features Lenny McKay on lead. This was voted number 1 on 2 ballots, voted number 1 by Harvey Burns of Cortland Manor, New York, and Bob Walsh of Walpole, Massachusetts. We go to June of 1958 for number 18 by the Jesters on Cyclone Records. The song is called I Laughed.
Boom, 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 boom,
That's June 1958, coming in at number 18 on the survey. That is Lenny McKay and the Jesters with their tune called I Laughed. It's on Paul Winley's Cyclone record label. Let's move to number 17 on the survey with 555 points and 49 mentions. And it's the debut single by this group from Cincinnati, Ohio. Came out on Jerry Herman's Note label. Note Records was out of Indianapolis, Indiana. Now, the song was recorded up in Chicago at the Chess Studios and was first issued on Note Records in July of 1958. Then in August, Chess Records began distributing it nationally on its Checker subsidiary. The song is written by William Prez Tyus, who presented the song to the group when they met at Central High School in Cincinnati. Now, the lead guitarist on this, who was an official member of the group, his name is Ralph Bird. The vocal members included Dorsey Porter, first tenor, Ray Ford, second tenor, John Bolden, baritone, Richard Johnson, the bass, and the lead singer on this, Leroy King. This was the number one vote of Jeff Beckman of Staten Island, New York. I bought a lot of his records when he was selling out his collection. I did. But let's go to July of 1958 for the Students. The Students on the Note label, coming in at number 17. It's called Every Day of the Week. Coming in at number 17 on the survey, Leroy King and the Students. Their debut single featured it on the Note record label from July 58. Every Day of the Week. That was also issued on the Checker label. If you own the Checker 45 in your collection, the print of the group, the Students, must be in tiny print. That is a true first press from 58, at least on the Chess label. If you have big print, that is not an original. It was pressed later, but the true, I showed it to you on the video there, the true first press on the Checker label. Let's continue here. We are moving to number 16, and it's interesting that there is a trend on a lot of these coming in the top 20, great two-sided 45s, and here is another at number 16 where both sides of the single made it on the survey, at least the records that I've featured here beginning, number of weeks ago at number 315. The group is from Gary, Indiana. We heard at number 60 the B-side of their 15th release on Vivian Carter's VJ record label. It was called Here Is Why I Love You, but coming in at number 16 is the A-side, which is a cover tune. This was first done by Ethel Waters back in 1933, but we move up to July of 1958 with this release by the Spaniels. It features Pookie Hudson on lead. This was a number 26 record on KJOE in Shreveport, Louisiana, but it's our number 16 song here on the survey with 581 points and 59 mentions on 24% of the ballots. From July 58, the Spaniels on VJ and their rendition of the tune Stormy Weather.
I don't know why. There's no sun up in the sky. Stormy weather. Me and my gal ain't been together. Keeps raining all the time. Life is bare, and gloom and misery's everywhere. It's stormy weather. Me and my gal ain't been together. Keeps raining all the time. Since you went away, the blues walked in and met me. If you don't come back to stay, old rocking chair will get me. And all I do is pray that the Lord above will let me walk in the sun. Can't go on, and everything I have is gone in stormy weather. Since me and my gal ain't been together. Keeps raining all the time. Stormy weather. Since me and my gal ain't been together. Keeps raining all the time. Keeps raining all the time. Keeps raining all the time.
That's coming in at number 16 on the survey, Pookie Hudson and the Spaniels from July 1958. That is their 15th release on Vivian Carter's VJ record label. Stormy Weather is the name of the tune, and that one had no number one votes on it, but a lot of votes to make it number 16 on the survey. The Moonglows return at number 15 with 590 points and 53 mentions, and it would be the group's last charted hit, we should say. This was number 39 on Cashbox, 22 on Billboard, number 9 on the Billboard R&B charts. It was released as Harvey and the Moonglows. Of course, it featured Harvey Fuqua on lead. This was voted number 1 on 2 ballots. Norman Goldberg of Westbury, New York, and Michael Schulman of Brooklyn, New York made this their number 1 selection. We go back to August 1958. Coming in at number 15 on Leonard Chess's Chess record label, Harvey and the Moonglows, with their classic. It's called it's called it's 10 Commandments of Love at number 15.
Thou shall never love another.
I shall never love another.
And stand by me all the while.
And stand by me all the while.
Take happiness with the heartaches.
Take happiness with the heartaches.
And go through life wearing a smile.
And go through life wearing a smile.
Oh, how happy we will be if we keep the 10 Commandments of love. Of love. Thou should always have faith in me.
Thou should always have faith in me.
In everything I say and do.
In everything I say and do.
Love me with all your heart and soul.
Love me with all your heart and soul.
Until our life on earth is through. Oh, how happy we will be if we keep the 10 Commandments of love. Love, oh, sweet love. It's so grand. You will find since the beginning of time, it has ruled in all the land. Come to me when I am lonely.
Come to me when I am lonely.
Kiss me when you hold me tight.
Kiss me when you hold me tight.
Treat me sweet and gentle.
Treat me sweet and gentle.
When we say goodnight. Oh, how happy we will be if we keep the 10 Commandments of.
It seems like I could get in gypped there, really. That there is a longer version of that, by the way. And I think it's on the LP, one of the LPs I have. I don't know if it's on the Murray the K LP or one of the LPs that I have. I probably should have got that longer version to feature for you. Would have been nice, but there you go, coming in at number 15 on the survey from August 1958. It's on the Chess label. That's Harvey Fuqua on lead. Harvey and the Moonglows at number 15 with the 10 Commandments of Love. That was on 53 ballots, and that one there, 590 points. Let's go to number 14 on the survey with 603 points and 51 mentions. This group from Albany, New York, they had 7 releases on Saul Rabinowitz's Baton label out of New York City, and this was the group's debut single, charted number 60 on Billboard, but a big number 5 record on WABY in Albany, New York. It features Maurice Newton on lead, and this is with Tico Wilshire and the orchestra. Coming in at number 14, it was voted number 1 on 2 ballots. Jim Balantic of New Hyde Park, New York, and Gail Lavatelli of Hackensack, New Jersey had this as their number one vote. We go to February 58 for the Fidelities. The Fidelities on Baton. It's called The Things I Love at number 14.
Sunset in the summer skies, the golden flicker of the fireflies, the gleam of love light in your lovely eyes. These are the things I love. Oh, silver moonbeam peeping through the trees. Oh, bed of tulips nodding in the breeze. The look you give in answer to my pleas. These are the things I love. Oh, once I thought that life was just a winter thing. My heart was cold, and then you came to me, and like a breath of spring, you turned my silver snow to gold. A robin serenade when day is through. The babbling brook beside our rendezvous. Your sweet voice whispering, darling, I love you. These are the things I love. Oh, once I thought that life was just a winter thing. My heart was cold, and then you came to me, and like a breath of spring, you turned my silver snow to gold. Oh, robin serenade when day is through. The babbling brook beside our rendezvous. Your sweet voice whispering, darling, I love you. These are the things I love. These are the things I love.
Those are the Fidelities. The Fidelities at number 14 on the survey. February 58 release their debut single on Baton Records with Maurice Newton on lead. The Things I Love is the name of the tune. Let's continue here and to number 13 here on the survey for Leroy King and the Students. They return at number 13. Their debut single came in, just heard it not too long ago, at number 17, Every Day of the Week. But here is their follow-up, which really should not have even been on this survey, as this shouldn't be on the 1958 survey. It was released in the fall of 1959, but it was recorded on May 10th of 1959. So this should have been excluded, but it did receive 627 points, and it had 48 mentions, and it received 4 number one votes. And the 4 people that voted this number one were Robert Frazier of Sun City West, Arizona, Michael Light of Short Hills, New Jersey, Judy Roger of Baldwin, New York, and my buddy Joel Scherzer of Pueblo, Colorado. Joel, you didn't know that was from 59, but he must have saw it and voted for it. But anyway, these are the Students here. The Students, and I had some other notes here. it would be, this song would be issued on Checker Records in 1962, but I'm featuring it on the Jerry Herman Note label. It features Leroy King on lead. Let's go to November of 1959. Although it's on the 58 survey in error, and would be an error, The Students, still a great record, The Students on Note with their tune called My Vow to You. As Leroy King and the Students, coming in at number 13 on the survey, featured it on the Note label, My Vow to You, from November of 1959. And forgot to mention that the flip side of this 45, That's How I Feel, we heard earlier in the survey at number 103. Mistakes making it big on the Relic survey. Let's continue here. Let's go back to Harlem, New York for entry number 12, coming in at with 629 points and 47 mentions. And I'm talking about the great Solitaires, who first recorded this in June of 1954. It was their second release on High Weiss's Old Town record label. But this is the resung version, which was their 14th of 18 on Old Town Records. Now, the 1954 version featured Herman Curtis on lead, but the August 58 release features Milton Love on lead. And this was voted number one on 4 ballots. 4 ballots voted this one number one. Ron Costa of Bush, Louisiana, John Cummins of Freeport, New York, Jim Dunn of Levittown, New York, and D. Val of Ridge, New York made this their number one selection. This is from August 58. Give a listen to the Solitaires on Old Town Records with Milton Love on lead and their resung version of Please Remember My Heart.
Please remember my heart. Oh, well, darling, you're an angel. You're everything to me. Sorry, my darling, I couldn't see. Please give me one more chance. Let me come back and stay. I'd swim the deepest ocean to be by your side. Well, I'm sorry, darling, I couldn't try. Please give me one more chance. Please remember my heart. So many times I'm doubtful with this new love affair. Let my love be near you again, my darling. Well, I love you so. Well, I do. Well, I do. Really believe in you. Won't you come back and give me one more chance? Please remember my heart. No, please remember my
Coming in at number 12 on the survey, The Sound of the Solitaires there. Milton Love on lead on that resung version, August 1958. On High Weiss's Old Town record label, Please Remember My Heart, with 629 points and 47 mentions. Let's move to entry number 11 on the Relic survey. This group from Queens, New York, they return. Now this is the, well, I should say the B-side of their debut single came on the survey at number 51. It was called Moonglow You Know, which in my opinion is the much better side, but the intended A-side received 681 points and 62 mentions. That was 26% of the voters voted for this tune. This had it on their ballot, and this was the group's biggest hit. It was played a lot here in New York City, also in the Boston area, charted number 2 on WCOP, and this was a number 1 selection for Tom Hook of Van Buren, Maine. Made this his number 1 selection from July 58. Coming in at number 11 are The Videos. The Videos on Casino with their tune called Trickle Trickle.
Trickle, trickle, splash, splash. Tell me how long will this rain last? Rain can't stop, there ain't no stopping. Tell me how long will this rain last? Trickle, trickle, stop, stop. Just got to see my sweet little drop. She's there waiting, I'm hesitating. Wonder just when this rain will stop.
Ronnie, dig my clothes, yeah, boy. One button low. Well, you know I'm sharp as a tack. Say, lend me your Cadillac. Gotta go to a party, yeah. Please lend me your show. Well, if you can't take it, you know can't make it. I won't see my baby no more.
Trickle, trickle, splash, splash. Tell me how long will this rain last? The rain keeps dropping, there ain't no stopping. Tell me how long will this rain last?
my baby no more.
Tick, tickle, splash, splash. Tell me how long this rain lasts. The rain keeps stopping, there ain't no stopping. Tell me how long this rain lasts. Tick, trickle, stop, stop. Tell me just when this rain will stop. The rain keeps stopping, there ain't no stopping. Tell me how long this rain lasts. Tell me how long will it last?
Coming in at number 11 on the survey there, The Sound of the Videos, their debut single and their biggest hit on the Casino record label from July of 1958. The Videos on Casino, it's called Trickle, Trickle. We move into the top 10 now of vocal group records from 1958 as voted by collectors. And this is another flip side, and by this group from Brooklyn, New York. We heard the A side of this, came in at number 53 on the survey. It was their first single on George Gollner's End record label. It was called Tears on My Pillow. That was number 53, but the B side comes in at number 10 with 684 points and 58 mentions, and voted number 1 on 7 ballots. 7 ballots had this as their number 1 selection, as Bob Beeben of Pleasanton, California. Used to communicate with him quite a bit. He was in charge of a car show out in Pleasanton, California, and I used to make video cassette tapes for him. Cassette tapes, not video, and he used to send me surveys in return. But Jerry Gingaro from Floral Park, New York, and Frank Gingaro of Floral Park, New York. This was voted number 1 by those two. Al Leacher of Staunton, Virginia, voted this number 1. Dolores Morris of Flushing, New York, Randy Silverman of Lynbrook, New York, and Frank Van Valen of Wolfsboro, New Hampshire made this their number 1 selection. We go to June of 1958. For the Imperials. The Imperials, now the first presses of this were issued as the Imperials. Once they performed this on Dick Clark's American Bandstand, he called the lead singer Little Anthony. So then Goldner started to press it as Little Anthony and the Imperials. And it features Anthony Bourdain on lead, coming in at number 10 on the survey. The Imperials on End, it's called Two People in the World at number 10.
Just two kinds of people in the world. Why can't we fall in love? Just two kinds of people in the world. They are a boy and girl.
Coming in at number 10 on the survey, the Imperials, or AKA Little Anthony, and the Imperials from June 1958. That's the flip side of Tears on My Pillow. Two People in the World is the name of the tune, coming in on it's on George Goldner's End record label, and that one there voted, what did I say? 684 points and 58 mentions. That is a lot. Let's move to entry number 9 as we go back to Queens, New York. This group returns on the survey at number 9. The B-side of their second release on Morris Levy's Roulette Records came in at number 79. It was called One Day Next Year, and this is the A-side, coming in at number 9 with 724 points and 58 mentions, and voted number 1 by Jack Bright of Palatine, Illinois, and also Leonard Marks of DeBarry, Florida. They made this their number 1. The tune written by the lead singer of the group. His name is James Shepard. This was a number 3 record if you were listening out in Oakland, California on KWBR, but it comes in at number 9 on the Relic survey. These are the Heartbeats. The Heartbeats from February 58 on Roulette Records. Their tune is called Down on My Knees at number 9.
Down on my knees, when troubles rise, I'm all alone. Somebody please, hear my cry. Send my baby back home. I didn't mean to treat you wrong. Please, come back home. All I have is memories of you. Please make my wish come true. I am to blame. I'm sorry. Please come back to me. I can't complain. I know you love me. I'm begging for sympathy.
As James Shepard and the Heartbeats, coming in at number 9 on the survey from February 1958. Morris Levy's Roulette record label, Down on My Knees, is the name of the tune here. Let's move to entry number 8 on the survey. It's another flip side that we heard earlier on the survey. Coming in at number 291 was a song called I Wonder Who, but the A-side comes in at number 8. The group is called The Fascinators. They're out of Brooklyn, New York. Boy, Gus Gossard, really a big influence in the 1958 survey, because a lot of these records were played on the Gus Gossard show. Now, that's the first time I heard this song on his show, and it's the group's debut single, or should I say the A-side of the group's debut single. It features Tony Pasalacqua on lead. This received 795 points and 69 mentions and was on 29% of the ballots, and it was voted number 1 on 6 of the ballots. 6 people voted this number 1. William Kassler of Stafford, Virginia, Craig Centimore of Oceanside, New York, Bruce DeMont DeMott of Ridgefield, New Jersey, R.J. Serrani of Fairview, New Jersey, Gordon Skagberg of Port Washington, New York, and Bob Sutton of Kew Gardens, New York, made this their number one selection. We go to September 1958. Tony Pasalacqua and the Fascinators on the Capitol label, and their tune called Chapel Bells.
Chapel bells, I hear ringing the song, yes, the song my heart singing. Have sympathy, but please send my baby back to me. Chapel bells, so many thoughts and memories bringing with each note, yes, each note that you're ringing. Have sympathy, but please send my baby back to me. Chapel bells. I hear your call. You're calling to me. I can't explain this feeling. Oh, what could it be? Well, I do, yes, to adore them. Well, I love and implore them. Oh, have sympathy, but please send my baby back to me. Chapel
Coming in at number 8 on the survey, Tony Pasalacqua and the Fascinators. That is their debut single on the Capitol label. Featured it on the yellow promo copy. There you go, September 1958, Chapel Bells. That was voted number 1 by six ballots, and the copyright police are out to get Johnny G now. Give me a break, police. You can't do that. Where's Bobby in Texas? I need you to make a couple phone calls, Bobby, as we continue here. We go to number 7 on the survey. We return to Cincinnati, Ohio, or I should say this group returns from Cincinnati, Ohio. And by the way, folks, I posted all the scans, I think, of the top 12 records on my Facebook page, so you can check them out there. Lots of people making comments on the records there. But this group out of Cincinnati, Ohio, this is their third entry in the top 17, and it's the flip side of entry number 17 that we heard earlier, called Every Day of the Week. And we also heard their follow-up to Every Day of the Week, My Vow to You, at number 13. But entry number 7, with 944 points and 75 mentioned, and voted on 31% of the ballots. It features Leroy King on lead. This was voted number 1 on 6 ballots. The six voting number 1 were Walter. Can't read here. Walter DeLandro of Flushing, New York. The late Dennis Evers used to be a big fan of the Vinyl Treasure Show. Dennis Evers of Linden, New Jersey. Andrew Garabini of Sag Harbor, New York. Stephen Hineka of Brampton, Ontario, Canada, Steve Propes of Long Beach, California, and Ken Abruzzi of Floral Park, New York, all made this their number one selection. We go to August of 1958. Leroy King and the Students return on Jerry Herman's Note record label, their tune called I'm So Young at number 7. Sound of the Students there. Those are the Students there. Leroy King and the Students from August 1958. It's on Jerry Herman's Note record label. As I mentioned, you can also get it on the Checker label, but it's really hard to get on Note records, especially clean. Coming in at number 7, that had 6 number 1 votes. I'm So Young, the name of the tune. Let's go back to Philadelphia now for entry number 6, coming in with 947 points and 76 mentions. It's Lee Andrews and the Hearts. Now, their second release for United Artists came in at number 261, was called Why Do I? And their third release came in at number 77 that I featured here, called Maybe You'll Be There. Well, here is their first release on United Artists, but I'm featuring it on the Casino label. This is the first press, and the masters were leased out to United Artists, and it first came out on Casino Records, and this charted number 38 on Cashbox, number 33 on Billboard. This was a number 2 record on KDKA in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and this was voted number 1 on 4 ballots. The 4 people that voted this number 1 were Bob Boynton of Walpole, Massachusetts, Ken Donnelly of Glen Ridge, New Jersey, Terry Gill of North Fort Myers in Florida, and Eunice Tulmeri of Plymouth, Massachusetts, made this their number one selection here from March of 1958, featuring it on the First Press Casino Records, Lee Andrews and the Hearts, and their tune called Try the Impossible at number 6.
Try the impossible. Try to understand the way I feel about you. Try the incredible, for in trying all of my dreams might come true. Try to understand you're everything I ever hoped for. And if you try to make it survive, take my heart, it will be yours. I really mean it when I tell you I'll be at your beck and call. Tell me you want me, and our love will conquer all. The need for you, just to be with you, is the reason why I plead to you. Make the impossible the incredible, and all of my dreams come true. We-oo, 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 we-oo. I really mean it when I tell you I'll be at your beck and call. Tell me you want me, and our love will conquer all. Oh, the need for you, just to be with you, is the reason why I plead to you. Make the impossible the incredible, and all of my dreams come true. We-oo, 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 oh, we-oo. Try the impossible.
As Lee Andrews and the Hearts coming in at number 6 on the survey. From March 1958, I featured it on the Casino label, was nationally distributed by United Artists Records, Try the Impossible. And that one there on 4 ballots made that their number 1 record. Let's move to entry number 5 on the survey. This song received the second most highest number 1 votes with 17 and 1,036 points on 70 mentions. It was first issued on Vivian Carter's VJ record label. I showed you a copy of that, but there is no way. I mean, I could play it if you like to hear pops and scratches, but it's an ultra rare record on VJ Records. Then it came out on the VJ subsidiary Falcon Records, and I don't even have a clean copy of that. They're like grainy presses, so I need a mint copy of that 45. But I do have a nice one on the third press, which is maybe it's not as easy to find on Abner as it is on Falcon, because Falcon had to change their name. They were sued, had to change the name from Falcon to Abner. So that record was a big seller, and they put it out on the Abner label. But either way, it's a great tune, and it's the debut single for Jerry Butler and the Impressions. and this charted number 22 on Cashbox. This is the Falcon release. Was number 11 on Billboard, and it was voted number 1 by 17 people. Made this their number 1 selection. And let me see if I could even see them here. Barbara Bain of the Bronx, New York. Bill Botkin of Edison, New Jersey. Joe Caldwell of Laurelton, New York. Gary Felsinger of Akron, Ohio. Henry Griswold of Westwood, Massachusetts. Lou Haggis of Mountain Lakes, New Jersey. Got a lot of Lou's records in my collection. Harvey Hertz of Minneapolis, Minnesota. Neil Hirsch of the Bronx, New York. Robert J. Hogan of Staten Island, New York. Make sure I get this right. Fred Cottrell of White Plains, New York. That's real close to Johnny G. Brian Lenahan of Marietta, Georgia. Dan Marcella of Orlando, Florida. Wally Murray of Annandale, New Jersey. Mike Pecos of Morgana, California. Used to buy records from Mike when he was selling out in California. George Scintia of West Hills, California. David Weiner of Hillsdale, New Jersey. And Stanley Weisskopf of Dix Hills, New York, all made this their number 1 selection here. As we go to As we go to May of 1958, featuring it on the Abner label for Jerry Butler and the Impressions. Coming in at number 5, it's called For Your Precious Love.
Could ever be. For when I wanted you, I was so lonely and so blue. For that's what love will do. And darling, I'm so surprised. Oh, when I first realized that you were fooling me. And darling, they say that our love won't grow, but I just want to tell them that they don't know. For as long as you're in love with me, our love will grow wider, deeper than any sea. And of all the things that I want in this whole wide world is just for you to say that you'll be my girl. And woo, wanting you, I'm lonely and blue. I'm so
Coming in at number 5 on the survey, Jerry Butler and the Impressions from May 1958 featured it on the Abner label. You saw I do have that VJ press. I wish it was in better condition. I mean, it plays okay. It's just got some scratches on it. Whoever had that record didn't take care of it. It was Spence Wooten that found me that copy. We're forever grateful to the late Spence Wooten. But that one there, number 5, that was on 17 number 1. 17 ballots voted that number 1. Let's move to entry number 4 here with 1,060 points and 92 mentions. Was on 38% of the ballots. This quintet from Brooklyn, New York. This 45 first pressed on the Amp 3 record label in April of 1958. Now Mercury would put it out in June of 58, but the Amp 3 release has the group's name spelled wrong. As you saw it, I'll show it to you again. It's spelled Dandleers. It should be Dan Lears. We heard them earlier in the program with that extra with I Really Love You, which was the follow-up to this song. But this tune, written by the group's manager, Danny Webb, it features I lose my mind here. Jimmy Weston on lead, and this charted number 9 on Cashbox, number 7 on Billboard, number 4 on the R&B chart, a big number 1 record on WABY in Albany, New York, if you were tuned in there, and it was number 1 on 6 of the ballots voted this one number 1. And those 6 people were Gordy Freeman, who is in our YouTube chat room from Cresskill, New Jersey. David Hinckley, receive emails from David from Mendham, New Jersey. Richie McAllister of Queens Village, New York. John McGrath of the Bronx, New York. Marianne Roth of Munhall, Pennsylvania. And Richard Tulmiri of Plymouth, Massachusetts, made this their number 1 selection back in 1998. And we go to April of 58 for the Dan Lears. The Dan Lears on Mercury with their debut single coming in at number 4. It's called One Summer Night.
One summer night, we fell in love. One summer night, I held you tight, you and I, under the moon of love. One summer night, I kissed your lips. One summer night, I held you close, you and I, under the moon of love. You kissed me, oh so tenderly, and I knew this
April 1958, release there for the Dan Lears. The Dan Lears, their debut single, featured it on the AMP3 record label, coming in at number 4 on the survey with 1,060 points and 92 mentions. That's a lot. The Dan Lears with One Summer Night. For you collectors out there, the true first press on the AMP3 must say distributed by Mercury Records on the label. If it does not, you have kind of like a second press there that they press those up there and put them out. And now let's get to the top 3 here on the survey. Coming in at number 3 with 1,309 points and 83 mentions, and on 34% of the voters voted for the Flamingos with their first release on George Gollner's End record label. I hope I don't get a copyright on this, because Terry Johnson is a stickler, really. But the B-side of this came in at number 226, called That Love Is You. But this is the intended A-side that comes in at number 3. It features Terry Johnson on lead. This charted number 70 on Cashbox, number 52 on Billboard, was number 25 on the Billboard R&B chart, and a big number 1 record on WOKO in Albany, New York. And this song had the 3rd highest number 1 votes. It was on 16 ballots. 16 ballots voted this one number 1. And they are Frank V. Aita, A-I-T-A, however you pronounce that. Frank V. Atta from New Milford, New Jersey. Robert J. Becker of Woodcliff Lake, New Jersey. Steve Blackwell of Jackson Heights, New York. William Colofasos of Flushing, New York. Mark D. Mayer of Patterson, New Jersey. Al Devona of Oradell, New Jersey. Bob Galgano of Levittown, New York. Steve Johnson of Easton, Pennsylvania. Jim Miller of Broomall, Pennsylvania. Jack O'Reilly of, can't see that, of should that be Staten Island, New York? It just says SI. It must be. Dan Romanello of Flushing, New York. Julie Romanello of Flushing, New York. Richard, I can't see if that's a Richard Sosis of New Rochelle, New York. George Sutton of Tempe, Arizona. Jim Tucio of Suffern, New York, and Jay Warner of Los Angeles, California made this their number 1 selection. As we go to entry number, where's my cheat sheet? Entry number 3 from October 58. These are the Flamingos on N Records, on crappy styrene, by the way. Features Terry Johnson on lead. It's Lovers Never Say Goodbye at number 3.
Please wait for me, for I shall return. My love for you will forever burn. Though we must part, there's no reason to cry. Just say so long, so long, darling, because lovers never say goodbye. I love you.
kiss me, dear, and hold me tight. For you know this is not our last time. Though we must part, there's no reason to cry. Just say so long, darling, because lovers never say goodbye. Never say goodbye, goodbye, goodbye.
I told you the copyright police will be out after me. They are chasing me right now. As those are the Flamingos, Terry Johnson and the Flamingos coming in at number 3 on the survey from October 1958 on George Gollner's End record label. Lovers Never Say Goodbye is the name of that one at number 3. Let's move to the number 2 song on the survey. It was on 43% of the ballots that voted for this tune at 1,402 points, and this had the second highest mentions with 104, and it was voted number 1 on 13 ballots. Now the B-side of this group's 5th release for George Gollner's Gone label came in at number 39. It was called Is There a Love for Me? But the flip side, written by Billy Miles. You know Billy Miles. He had a hit on Ember Records called The Joker. But this features Richard Blandon on lead from November of 1958, coming in at number 2. And this was voted number 1 on 13 ballots. And let's see, wait, is it 13? Yeah, 13 ballots. The voters were Greg Bond of Colleyville, Texas, Thomas Collardo of Johnston, Rhode Island, Jim Cote of Haverhill, Massachusetts, Bruce Hecht of New Hyde Park, New York, Bill Coster of Maywood, New Jersey, Nick Lapatina of Harrison, New York, Ray Legare of Manville, Rhode Island, Tom Marek of Portsmouth, New Hampshire, Pete Moladinik of Hobbs, New Mexico, David Pornaris of Fort Myers, Florida, John Reno of Los Angeles, California, Kirk Roberts of San Leandro, California, and Dave Savitt of Pearl River, New York, made this their number 1 selection. Fortunately, it's on crappy styrene, but what are you going to do? Number 2 on the survey from November 58, Richard Blandon and the Dubs on Gone Records. It's called Chapel of Dreams, number 2.
In the chapel of dreams, every dream will come true. In the chapel of dreams, there's a dream there for you. Through the dark of
of dreams.
Chapel of dreams, chapel of dreams,
Chapel of
There you go. Coming in at number 2 on the survey, that's Richard Blandon and the Dubs on George Goldner's Gone record label from November 1956, Chapel of Dreams, voted number 1 on 13 of the ballots. Well, that brings us to the number 1 selection here on the Relic survey, which is going to close out the show for today. And really want to thank you all. If you loved what you heard on these surveys, maybe we can do more of them too. And you can email Johnny G at vinyltreasures@aol.com. And I know a lot of people sent me some wonderful emails how much they enjoyed the show. Especially if you like ballads, you really heard your share of ballads on this survey there. And I was just happy that I had, the majority of the records to play. And some of them, of course, aren't all in the greatest shape, but for the most part they played pretty decent, or at least enough to enjoy. So I want to thank everybody that tuned into the program and enjoyed the show. There's one person that was a thorn in my side, and it's unfortunate because I really wanted to include him here on the program, but with his condescending attitude, I just couldn't do it. It's unfortunate too because he knew so much about this survey, and he knows who he is, and some of you do. But I'm glad to present these to you. And again, if you enjoyed what you heard, send me an email at vinyltreasures@aol.com. And thank you, Charlene, again for all your help, as Charlene helps me with the research on a lot of on all the shows that I do. And we'll be back on Wednesday night beginning at 9 p.m. on Oldies and More Radio, also here on YouTube. And you can join me then. I'll be back next Saturday with your requests. We count down the music chronologically there for the 50s and early 60s 45s, vocal group records too. So send me your requests. So enjoy doing that. I don't know what I'm going to do next Monday, because I have other records in my collection that I know some of the listeners over in the UK might enjoy. I have rockabilly and blues and teen records, and I have someone helping me. They are helping me with possibly a beach show that I'll be doing, so I'm looking forward to do that. I got to find the records. So, and also we'll be having some guest hosts in this time slot here. So stay tuned for that coming in the remainder of the year here. So you got to look forward to that. So we're going to close the show tonight, or today, or this afternoon, with the number 1 song. Were the ballots stuffed on this? We got to be careful with elections, you know that? But coming in at number 1 on the 1958 Relic survey, as voted by collectors and music lovers, we'd have to say, and compiled by Relic Records in Hackensack, New Jersey. This record came in with 1,765 points and 110 mentions, and it was on 45% of the ballots, and 30, it's an aberration. 30 people voted this record number 1. Interesting. This group from Newport News, Virginia, but 30 people voted this number 1, and 11 people had this as their number 2. And it came out on the Unart label. It features Raphael Ingram on lead. This is from December of 58, and the group is called the Avalons. Now, the people that voted this number 1, there are 30 of them. Elliot Barnowitz of Forest Hills, New York. Artie Biladello of East Setauket, New York. Mike Bergugian of Whitestone, New York. Some of the people that voted on these records have since passed away too, by the way. Mark Cardozo Dodus of San Francisco, California, Frank Cassie, a listener to the Vinyl Treasure Show of Massapequa, New York, Harvey Chupper of Toms River, New Jersey, Phil Granito of Wharton, New Jersey, Joseph Greco of Monticello, New York, Jim Gulcher of Cape Coral, Florida, Karen Gulcher of Cape Coral, Florida. That's almost, when your spouse votes, that's almost like cheating, I'd say. Really, like one vote per household. That's like a double vote, you have to think. Barry Hertz of New Milford, New Jersey, Ronnie Italiano, the late Ronnie Italiano of Clifton, New Jersey, the late Rich Criz of Pearl River, New York. Used to talk a lot to Rich Criz. Of Dennis Leonis of Castro Valley, California. Bought a lot of nice records from Dennis Leonis. Bobby Leschak of St. Petersburg, Florida. Richard Lillard of Arbutus, Maryland. Joe Loud of North Bergen, New Jersey. Joanne McGuire used to come into the program of Scarsdale, New York. KJ O'Doherty of Ridgewood, New Jersey. Madeline Passantino of Sunrise, Florida, and James Passantino of Sunrise, Florida. There you go. There's a double vote there. Bob Petty of Gibsonia, Pennsylvania. Augie Rouleau of Jersey City, New Jersey. John Ryder of what is that? Blauvelt of New York. Joel Schwartz of Wantagh, New York. Joe Shacatano, a big fan of the program in our YouTube chat room. He loves all the ballads, and this would be one of his perfect records, we'd have to say, from Metuchen, New Jersey. Brian Smith of Gainesville, Florida. The late George Tompkins from Yonkers, New York at the time. Chris Vitale of New Milford, New Jersey, and the late Spence Wooten, who supplied me with lots of records in my collection from Riverdale, New Jersey. All voted this record number one on the survey. I wonder if somebody had a nefarious thing to vote this number one to stuff the ballots, but we'll never know, right? But anyway, thank you all for tuning in to the program today, and I hope you join me next time on the Vinyl Treasure Show. If you're new to the program, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Tell your friends about the program. We will be continuing with these specials on Monday afternoon beginning at 1 p.m. Eastern Time till 3:30. We're a little bit over, but that's okay. Really timed it great. So the closer for today, the number one selection on the 1958 Relic survey, these are the Avalons. The Avalons on the Unart record label with their tune called Heart's Desire. That's it, folks. Everybody stay well. See you next time here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. So long. Number one.
You're my heart's desire. You're my heart's desire. You are my heart's desire. You set my soul on fire. Your lips are close to mine. You'll find you're my heart's desire. No other love could be as sweet as yours to me. Oh, darling, can't